Hi Eva, I need to set up the Sumo Logic AWS Observability Solution.
Hey there. Yes, let me show you the process. You'll learn how easy it is to set up the Sumo Logic AWS Observability Solution. To deploy the AWS Observability Solution, we use an AWS CloudFormation template. This template automatically sets up collections of logs and metrics from AWS to Sumo Logic and installs out-of-the-box dashboards in Sumo Logic. Though we also have templates for deploying to multiple AWS accounts and regions, for now, let's deploy the solution in a single AWS account and region.
Okay. But where can I find the template?
You can access it by just clicking on the link in our docs. Before you deploy though, make sure to complete the prerequisites listed in our docs. Then you can go on with the deployment.
Okay, I'll bookmark that page and read it later.
You will also need these details handy: the credentials of a user with the required roles of your AWS Management Console, the AWS region where you want to deploy the solution, the Sumo Logic deployment name, the API keys, which include the access ID and access key for the Sumo Logic user with the appropriate roles, and the Sumo Logic organization ID.
Where can I get these details?
You'll find them in the Sumo Logic user interface. See the documentation for more details.
Okay. Sure.
Once you have this information, you can now run the CloudFormation template. Let me demonstrate. I'll first click on the link in the Sumo Logic documentation to invoke the CloudFormation menu in my AWS Management Console, where I sign in with my AWS credentials. Then, I'll select the AWS region where I want to deploy the solution.
I assume this step is very important. If you don't select the right region, you'll deploy the solution in the wrong region.
That's right. Then, fill in the prompts for the template. You need to provide a response to each prompt in this section. First, provide the stack name.
Are there any standards we need to follow while providing the stack name?
Oh yes, the stack name can include letters A to Z, both in uppercase and lowercase, digits 0 to 9, and dashes. Remember, no special characters are allowed.
No special characters. That means no slashes or asterisks.
Right, and no duplicate names are allowed either. Then, the deployment name. Sumo Logic has several deployments that are assigned depending on the geographic location. Our deployment is US1. Next, provide the access ID and access key. I am entering the access ID and access key I kept handy with me. Then, provide the Sumo Logic organization ID. Here is my organization ID.
I can see how easy it becomes to fill in the details in the template, now that you've them handy.
There you go. Then, the delete Sumo Logic resources when stack is deleted parameter. If you would like to delete collectors, sources, and all associated content like dashboards and fields in Sumo Logic, when the stack is deleted, set the parameter to true. Then provide a name for this AWS account that indicates what you use this for. For example, this could be a test to indicate this account is used for all of your testing, or it could be a service or an application name. This name will appear in the Sumo Logic dashboards as well as the Explorer view and will be associated with your metrics and logs data. However, do not use uppercase letters and special characters in this alias. So the next step is to install the AWS Observability apps and alerts. Because I'm running this template for the first time, I'll select Yes in the drop-down menu so the wizard will install app dashboards for supported AWS services.
Those apps will save us time later.
Yep. Now let's provide values for the fields in the AWS CloudWatch metrics and inventory source section. First, select metric sources. They will help to create a CloudWatch metrics and/or an inventory source. There are 4 options in the list: CloudWatch metrics, inventory source, both, and none.
Can you explain a little bit more about these sources?
CloudWatch metrics creates a Sumo Logic CloudWatch metrics source, which collects metrics from multiple namespaces from the selected region. And inventory source creates a Sumo Logic inventory source used by Root Cause Explorer. Select none if you're already collecting CloudWatch metrics.
Got it.
In the AWS metrics namespaces section, enter a comma-delimited list of the namespaces which will be used for both AWS CloudWatch metrics and inventory sources.
There are some namespaces listed already.
You're right. The namespaces corresponding to the services supported by the AWS Observability Solution have been selected by default, but you can add more. If you select none for the metric sources parameter, you must enter the source API URL for an existing Sumo Logic CloudWatch metrics collector source.
I guess we'll find the URL in the Sumo Logic UI.
Right. To get the URL, go to the Sumo Logic user interface, navigate to the Manage Data section, and then to the Collection tab. Click the eye icon next to the CloudWatch metric source. Select the source API URL from the API source information page and copy it. Then, navigate back to the Setup wizard and paste it.
Great!
I told you it was easy. In the next step, provide the AWS ALB log source details. First, enable ALB access logging. Selecting both enables automatic collection of logs for new and existing application load balancers. I'm selecting both here. Next, create ALB log source. Selecting Yes creates a Sumo Logic ALB log source that collects ALB logs from an existing bucket or a new bucket. Select No if you already have an ALB source configured in Sumo Logic. In that case, you need to provide the existing Sumo Logic ALB log source API URL.
Let me guess. Here we go back to the Sumo UI again, and copy the API URL from the relevant ALB logs collector.
Precisely. Now provide the name of an AWS S3 bucket that will be used to collect application load balancer access logs. If you leave this blank, Sumo Logic will automatically create a new bucket in the region. Sumo Logic will create an AWS S3 bucket collector source to collect data from the bucket. If you want to put in the name of an existing bucket, enter the path expression where the ALB logs are stored. If this field is blank, Sumo Logic will store logs in the path expression shown here.
What if I have other sources?
You can also select if you would like to configure CloudTail source, Lambda CloudWatch log source, or an AWS X-Ray source.
Awesome.
Finally, in the Capabilities section, click each checkbox as they are mandatory. Then, click Create Stack. When the stack is created, you can see that the CloudFormation starts creating the resources in the account provided.
How do we know that the template has executed successfully?
You verify that by looking for the status. You want to look for a Create Complete status. This indicates that all the resources have been created successfully in both Sumo Logic and AWS. The process takes around 10 minutes.
Great! It shows Create Complete in the status.
To see the resources created in Sumo Logic, let's go to the Sumo Logic console. Select Manage Data, Collection. Type AWS Observability in the search filter to see the new collectors and sources that have been installed.
Great! Where do we see the dashboards?
You can see the list of AWS Observability dashboards in the left navigation pane. Click on your personal folder. You will then see a folder with all of the dashboards.
Fantastic! It's a good thing we chose to install these automatically earlier.
One last thing. To navigate through these dashboards, click plus New and select Explore. On the left top corner, under Explore By, select AWS Observability. Click on an account to see its regions, services, and instances of the services below it. You can view dashboards for each level in the hierarchy.
Brilliant!
I hope this demo helped you understand how to quickly deploy the AWS Observability Solution.
Oh yes, this is fantastic. Thanks Eva, for the demo.